Will Poulter, lovely to see you again.
Rhianna, thank you very much. Good to see you.
Yeah. So this is a really different role for you. You're a teenage dad. You're a bit of a layabout. Why did you want it so much?
Right off the bat, I realised Jared had an unbelievable talent for writing, and it was a very, very down-to-earth, honest, independent that I just felt I would be very lucky to be a part of. And I heard Jack was involved, who I admired and thought was a fantastic, young actor. Tony Collette gets involved, and it's suddenly like, how the hell am I part of this? But very, very lucky. And Glassland is one of the I think it's the proudest I've been to be part of a movie, really.
Sorry, it's actually saying here that you're 10 days late.
All right, what's it coming to?
It's a 40-cent fine a day.
What's that?
10 days, man. 40 cents a day. That's €4, man, come on.
What are you getting smart for?
It was a very varied experience. For as much fun we had, we also, all really felt the strain of what was a very kind of, dramatic and intense filming process.
And then you're going to start in a film with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy, directed by the award-winning director of Birdman, which is just insane. How did that come about?
Yeah, I really don't know. I auditioned in London. I sent in a tape, and then met Alejandro, the director, who is a phenomenal man, hands down the most talented individual I've ever worked with. I rapped on that only recently, and it was an incredible experience. The hardest thing I've ever done, but
Why?
I'm very proud. It was a long shoot.
So this was the one that you did in Canada?
This was the one I did in Canada,
Okay.
7 months away. 7 months away from Mum, to basically cut to the chase. That's why it was that hard. But really, you do want to push yourself, and you do want to go outside your comfort zone. And this was arguably way further out of my comfort zone than I could ever even have imagined. But it was amazing, and I'm very proud at the prospect of being in that movie.
You are a massive fan of Leonardo DiCaprio, aren't you?
I am.
So what did you do or say the first time you met him? Can you remember? Is it a blur?
Yeah, it's really funny. The first time I met Leo was on set, and we were rehearsing a scene kind of with camera, so we just went straight into working with each other. And you kind of have to just put aside that, bottle the fanboy and just go to work. And the last thing I'd want is for him to feel like, he was working with his biggest fanboy or anything like that. So, but he's a brilliant dude and a phenomenal actor, and same goes for Tom. Tom is
terrifying,
stupidly talented. Oh yeah.
He's terrifying.
He can be terrifying, but he's actually just lovely. He's like a bit of a BFG kind of thing.
Yeah. And do you look at films like We're the Millers and think, gosh, that was a real turning point in my career?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I definitely recognise how lucky I was to do it, and the opportunity to be in such a big movie, and work with someone like Jennifer and Jason, and Rawson, who I loved as a director, from Dodgeball. So yeah, to work with them was fantastic. So I think it was a turning point in terms of, the exposure and how many people saw that movie. So I was very lucky, but. I think the films that really truly excite me is from a creative perspective and as an actor are films like Glassland, maybe the ones that are less well known and not seen by so many people, but really do kind of represent the real and truth.
And when you kind of were exposed more to Hollywood, was there like a big, not secret, but kind of when you went out there, were you like, I did not realise that this happened in Hollywood?
Right. It's funny. I've got to be careful what I say, because I'm very lucky to be employed by some studios and whatnot that are based in Hollywood, but I'm not by any means like a Hollywood. Sometimes I'll come on a show and it'll be like, Hollywood actor Will Poulter. I'm like, I live in Chiswick with my mum. Like, I'm not remotely Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've spent a little bit of time out there. LA's got very nice weather, and there are some lovely people there, but I'm not about to move there or change up anything dramatically. It was surprising to see how many stereotypes are actually lived out there. Yeah.
Do they still love your British accent as well? Do they still go on about that, or are they over that now?
It's funny, people do quite like British. I think LA, there are so many of us Brits that maybe it's not much an effect, but they're sometimes like shooting in Louisiana, on the Maze Runner and whatnot. People could not believe that you were from England. I mean, it was like it was like you said you were from another planet. It really was. The reaction was wild, and it would freak you out, you know.
Now, Shane, your character in Glassland, goes travelling and he leaves, he starts again. During your acting career, has there ever been a moment where you've just you've wanted to give up and just, you know, throw it all in and just take off, go somewhere else, do something else?
I think there's definitely been huge moments of doubt. You know, I think as an actor, if you spend, you know, a year unemployed, you know, auditioning and, you know, you hear every excuse under the sun for why you're not, you know, why you weren't able to get a job, or you know, why you didn't quite achieve this or didn't achieve that. I think probably just before We're the Millers, I was in that place.
Right.
I remember like getting emotional in my agent's office in London and being like, I'm never gonna get a job. And we're like, all right, you know, it's gonna be okay, keep plugging away. But I think honestly maybe they didn't even know what was, you know, so that was a turning point, I suppose, in that respect. For my own confidence and self-belief going forward, Millers was a big thing for me.
And, you know, we ask people a lot, what advice would you give to young people who are kind of sitting at home? And obviously there's always that don't give up, keep going.
Right.
But is there like one really practical bit of advice you could give, or really something specific to people who might be a bit unsure that this is the career for them?
Yeah, I think one of the things that is biggest in kind of holding people back from I think creative pursuits in general, but certainly with acting, is nerves. The thing to remember is you're in control of your nerves. You know what I mean? That's what you've got to realise. Like, mind is the most powerful tool, and you're in control of your mind. So that's the thing to remember, and it's all overcomable.
That's
that's
very good advice. Yeah. Are there people that you were watching in films like 10 years ago who you would now ring up and go to the pub with?
I mean, I think the first movie that I ever... The first like adult movie that I can ever really remember watching was Titanic. So I remember watching Titanic and going, that is the like, it was a 12A, I think, back in the day. Yeah. There was a 12A. It was on VHS, 12A.
Wait, was it a 15? I feel like it was a 15 because I remember watching it really young, and it was like naughty.
Maybe it
being
was.
really naughty watching it.
It had boobies in it.
Yes,
that's what I remember.
Exactly.
And being like, that's a rude movie.
Yes.
You know? So I remember seeing that young.
You just taking me back
really
to when I
bad.
first saw it. Yeah,
right,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. It was like
I
with
think
all the girls, and it's like,
or something.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
So it's weird that being literally 10 years ago and then working with Leo. That's pretty nuts.
Did you get to go to the pub with him?
But we didn't go to the pub together. So
not even not once in 7 months.
And he's quite a busy guy. Imagine if I text him and be like, "Do you want to go to the pub?" Be like, who is this? Yeah. So,
I think you should try it. I think you should try it now.
I'll give it a go and I'll let you know how it goes.
Okay, do. Out of all your films, is there a soundtrack that you're particularly proud of that you would listen to? All the films you've been in.
There's a lot from Son of Rambo that's very nostalgic for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ironic because obviously it's a lot of 80s music, but there's a lot of music in that movie which I hear, and it does make me genuinely feel kind of emotional, like hearing it. I do go into a lot of restaurants and clubs, and I hear like Waterfalls playing sometimes, and that is a little embarrassing because it results in people asking me to rap, and nobody wants that. Why they
wants that.
Why they ask that is bizarre.
Because you've got it on your Twitter saying that I wish I was a rapper, basically.
Yeah, I brought that on myself.
You did.
Maybe. I did bring that on myself slightly. So that's one. I love the music in Wild Bill. I really love the music in Wild Bill. That's got some really cool like reggae stuff as well that Dex put in, and
Dexter Fletcher knows his music, doesn't he?
Dexter Fletcher really knows his music. Yeah. Among a lot of other things, Dex knows his music. So, I've been lucky to be in some movies with some cool music. But I'd love to do a movie where music is integrated a little bit more. That'd be cool. I think the music for The Revenant's gonna be pretty dope too.
Oh really?
Not a lot of lyrics, but I don't imagine, or modern stuff, but it's gonna be cool.
And you've started your own production company.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit more about that? What spurred you to do that?
Yeah, it's very small scale at the moment, but yeah, I did in the interest of just kind of, I think producing some of my own material and having a little bit of creative control and writing something I really enjoy. So I've been doing that with a good friend of mine.
Would you direct ever?
I don't know. I think I definitely want to make acting my focus for a while longer, you know, especially when I'm, you know, still kind of on the come up, and I'm going to focus on the acting, and then, you know, never say never. I just quoted Bieber. That's bad. I never say never. Did you notice that?
I didn't, but I'm really glad you pointed
I just
it
like
out.
got a little shiver down my spine when I said it.
Out of anyone you could have quoted.
Yeah, right.
Your street cred is just
Biebs.
plummeted.
Massively. Yeah, I've forgotten what I was saying. Sorry. This is out. This is out.
Glassland is out.
Yeah, this weekend.
And finally, you, throughout this whole interview, have talked about how lucky you are, and I mean, everyone knows you as a very humble actor, but are you happy to sort of admit that you are a talented actor, and that's why you keep getting these roles, not just because of your luck?
That's sweet of you to say. I suppose you have to recognise there's a combination, right? That there's a combination of luck, and then you have to put in hard work. And you know, I mean, I will say, talent's debatable, but I will say I do work hard. I've always had to kind of work hard at anything I've done. You know, like school was a big struggle, but I did legitimately try. There are probably some teachers who will disagree with that, but I did legitimately try at school. You know, and I think perhaps not being as successful at school as I wanted to be, I've kind of taken that frustration and turned it into kind of just applied a more conscientious attitude to how I approach work and stuff. And you are always going to have a better chance of succeeding if you work harder. I mean, that's just it. And hard work really does pay off, you know. And you'd have to be incredibly unlucky, I suppose, if your hard work didn't get you where you wanted to be. So, yeah.
Will Poulter, thank you very
Rhianna,
much.
thank you very much.
Glassland is
Great
out
to
now.
see you. It is.